Hi there. Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 4 books, now actually 5 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here today to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. What I want to look at today is this concept of common sense. I think it's a phrase that people throw around a lot. Well, of course, that's the way it is. That's just common sense. It's a phrase that people use, I think, to kind of justify or to validate how they think. The implication is, well, of course, everyone thinks this way, therefore it's common sense. I'm going to suggest, however, that common sense is actually an oxymoron. Because how we sense things, how we interpret life, how we understand what we see is very unique. It's very different from person to person. There is really no common sense. There is no common way of sensing or understanding things. And I think when we understand that, we can begin to become more purposeful, number one, in how we sense things. We can determine, are we doing it on purpose? Is it working for us? Is it making the statement we want to make about who we are? Would we recommend this understanding of the situation, this interpretation, this sensing to someone we love? This could be good questions, and we can avoid this tendency to use the phrase to justify our perspective when it may or may not be accurate. Now, again, it's a problem because it's out there as a common understanding. For instance, let's assume you got 2 people, and this represents who they are. And let's assume this represents the facts. Crystal clear, right? Everybody sees the facts the same way. No. How we sense the facts, how we interpret the facts is colored by what we believe to be true. Some people see the facts one way, other people see the facts another way. Same facts, different sense, different interpretation. So what most people think, if they're yellow, is that yellow is common sense. Of course, the folks who are blue think that blue is common sense. And so if you have 2 people trying to have a discussion, come to some sort of understanding, and both of them think not only are they right, but everybody else agrees with them, you can see how this would get in the way of actually coming to some common ground, some common understanding. So what I suggest we do is begin to look at the concept of common sense with a little bit of a questioning eye. When we hear it, we'll go, yeah, now help me understand what you really mean by that. I know you think that everybody thinks this way, so what is it that you think? Because sometimes people haven't even thought about it. They just say it's common sense and that's all there is to it. So the more we, again, can be purposeful about how we sense things, how we interpret what we see. And the more we can understand that different people will interpret us and the world around us in different ways based on how they sense things, the more awareness we can bring to our sensing, the more awareness we can bring to their sensing, and actually see if there isn't some common ground where we both do share a little bit of that. Now, sometimes that requires us saying, hey, help me understand what you want me to know about that. And they say, well, I think it's this way and that way. And you go, whoa, okay, well, I can see how you think it that way. What have you thought about this? So now look at this. It's beginning to find a little bit of common ground. We've changed the color of the conversation by not trying to advocate for the righteousness or the common sense nature of our perspective, but really seeking to understand the others. And in doing so, we get information about how they sense the world. They get information about our perspective, which is kind of what we're wanting in the first place, and we potentially come to some common ground. But frankly, even if we don't come to this common ground, at least we're understanding what is true, that we see the world one way, they see the world another way. We're not trying to justify how we see the world based on the implication that everybody else sees it that way too. That's just common sense. I hope this has been valuable. I'm enjoying bringing these videos to you. If so, hit the like button, please. You know how Google, Facebook, YouTube all like it. When you like it, and share it with friends if this has been valuable. If you want me to come and talk to your organization about how to know the difference between what is actually true and what other people are saying, let me know. That's what I do. For those of you who follow my Life from the Top of the Mind philosophy, you know I help people understand how the brain interprets information so that when we are coming to understand something, we can use our senses to find out an accurate understanding of it, knowing how the brain works and how it interprets data. So if you're interested in that, all you got to do is go to my website, Ph.D.com, hit the contact button, let me know if you're interested. Love to talk with you about that. In the meantime, here's to you bringing more clarity, confidence, and creativity to everything you do. More clarity about what is indeed common sense. Confidence in your ability to understand what someone else is thinking without having to get into a debate on it. And creativity in finding that common ground. More clarity, confidence, and creativity in everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.